in class 9C, we'll study this chapter, the language of chemistry, and in this we'll study about the symbols, the first topic, and you know it very well from your previous classes. Its definition is short form of an element. But if you go focus to its back, you understand that earlier different scientists came and they have given a very different manners of representing the symbols, in a pictorial form or certain molecular representation or figurative symbols. But later on, different scientists came and they gave you this concept of symbol, how you can give the proper symbol to a particular element. And if you see, there are very different in a broader concept, we have a very different definition, and we'll focus on the qualitative and the quantitative, you can say, meaning of the symbol. And the first symbols represent about the specific element or one atom of an element. And in this we can simply say that, for example, if certain element is given to you, for example, I give you sulfur, right? So in case of sulfur, you know its symbol, that is S. So this was a specific notation, or you can say a specific symbol that was given to the particular elements. Look, the way of representing the symbol, and it is written that the weight of an element is equal to its atomic weight. What does it mean? Basically, it's represent how many times a atom is heavier than one atomic mass unit, which is defined as 1 by 12th the mass of the carbon atom. So this is also the other way to represent the symbol. So we have seen many times that carbon, if I write down carbon, so what will be the symbol of carbon? C, right? Even like silicon, if I write, so its symbol is Si. So there are various ways of representing the particular symbol for an element, and you have to focus that you always focus on it, that the first alphabet of that particular element is always capital and the second one is small if it's contained in this manner, and if it is showing for the single, you can say, the alphabet, that is capital only. But why this happens, that over here you are using one single alphabet and over here you are using two? For example, over here you are writing Si. Why can't you write down S over here? Because in the previous I have already mentioned you that sulfur symbol is S. Already we have used sulfur, S. So silicon, in case of silicon, you will not write down S, you will write down Si. Now valency, the number of hydrogen atoms which can combine with or displace one atom of an element or radical so as to form a compound. So this way you can easily say, now what does this definition means? Why you say that the number of hydrogen atoms are combining with some other element? So what happens when these the particular hydrogen atom is combining with the other element or radical, it always leads to give you a particular valency. We'll see later on within a suitable example, but we have to focus two things over here, like metals, and all the metals and hydrogen have positive valency. Non-metals and groups of non-metals have the negative valency. Now to prove our definition of valency, I have written one example, HCl. The definition says that hydrogen atom is combining with some other element. So over here the other element is chlorine. If I ask you, you have learned the valencies and you can automatically tell me its valency is 1, over here it's 1. But how it's 1? So what is the definition? How many hydrogen atom is you can say combining or displacing the other element. Over here, how many atoms of hydrogen are there? You will say one atom of hydrogen, another element that is to which it is combining, that is also 1. So you can easily indicate the valency of the Cl, that is 1 over here, right? This will be the valency of Cl. Now you have seen that there are certain elements and you see these charges. We have already discussed the metals are having the positive charge. It's also a metal is having a positive charge, and it's coming in a univalent. Univalent means when they have the elements having only one valency, right? So why this one valency arises? Because they will lose one electrons from their outermost orbit and it will acquire a positive charge. You have other also divalent cases also there. Magnesium is there, it will lose how many electrons? 2 electrons. That's why it is holding a positive charge. Trivalent case is also there. Aluminum is losing 3 electrons and it is having a positive charge. Now we'll see the non-metals also, and in non-metals also you get univalent and divalent and trivalent cases are there. In case of non-metals, they gain electrons. Over here, how many electrons has been gained by Cl? It's one electron. That's why it is acquiring a negative charge, that is one. One negative charge has been acquired by it. Divalents, they will take how many electrons? 2, that's why minus 2. Over here 3 trivalent hai, so it means 3 electrons they will gain. So what is the charge present? Minus 3 charge. So this way you can say their valencies also is been explained here. Now this is a valency chart has been given on all the elements, whether they are positive or negatives. Their elements names are given. You can see the symbols are also given. The charges, whatever is present, whatever their valencies, it's been mentioned over here, and you can learn it from it. No matters. This portion is been your metal portion, and this portion is of your non-metal. So you can learn it from here, all the cases, whether its valency is 1, 2, or it is 3, or even down you can see 4 is there. Over here also you can see the in the same manner 1, 2, 3, 4, all the valencies. Later on we'll discuss about the variable valency in the next part.